we take a look at some of the ways the gaming community pulled together to take the sting out of one of the worst crises in living memory. It started out like any other year, but by March we all soon realized that 2020 was going to be anything but normal. A new strain of coronavirus, called COVID-19, soon took over the entire planet, and many countries issued stay-at-home orders to help prevent its spread. By the end of March, the UK was in full lockdown. Offices and factories closed, and people started working from home wherever possible. We weren't allowed to meet friends or family, however we were allowed to go outside to shop for essentials and exercise, but that was it. Other than that brief reprieve, we were trapped in our homes. Losing the ability to go out, see movies, attend gigs and so on can limit your options when it comes to entertaining yourself. But considering you're browsing a book entitled History of Video Games, it's safe to say that you're a fan of picking up a controller and taking part in some good old virtual entertainment. And that's what many of us did. Gaming provided comfort to many during lockdown, and our hobby began acting as a surrogate for staying in touch with loved ones. The first event that appeared to mark this trend was the arrival of Animal Crossing: New Horizons on the 20th of March. Its low-stress gameplay, ability to visit other players' islands and undeniable charm provided escapism for the millions who bought it on launch day, and word of mouth began to catch on, turning the life sim into a runaway success. People got creative with how they interacted with the game. Couples hosted unofficial weddings and celebrations. A whole sub-community formed over Turnip, basically stocks, advice. And a digital talk show, called Animal Talking, even popped up. The gaming goodwill which was spreading across the internet didn't stop at cultivating a feeling of togetherness. Games Done Quick was due to host its annual Summer Games Done Quick charity speedrunning event in June, however the pandemic prompted its creators to have a rethink. They cancelled SGDQ and launched Corona Relief Done Quick, an event where contestants would stream speedruns from their homes. The team moved quickly, scheduling the event to run from 17 to the 19th of April. CRDQ was a success, raising over $400,000 for direct relief. Since the event was held online, the risks and impact of the pandemic were greatly reduced, explains GDQ Director of Operations Matt Merkel. We also have some experience with quickly assembling an event. It was stressful, but the staff and speedrunning community were really behind the idea. In pure numbers alone, it was the most successful emergency fundraiser we've ever held. Matt continues. I think one of the standout showings during the event was the Pump It Up showcase. We had shied away from dance games in the past because it can be difficult to set up on stage at our main events, but as the online nature allowed the performance to occur at the runner's home, it was a much easier choice. While Animal Crossing dominated the mainstream gaming headlines throughout the first half of 2020, it was toppled in August by a new launch, Fall Guys: Ultimate Knockout, developed by Mediatonic. This multiplayer title's premise will feel similar to those who enjoy Takeshi's Castle or Total Wipeout. Tasking up to 60 jellybean-like humanoids to save themselves from elimination throughout a series of ridiculous events. This feel-good battle royale was another breath of fresh air, and it became a huge success. By November, Fall Guys had reached over 10 million sales on Steam alone. I'd always imagined us all sat around together as a team and pressing the big red button to send the servers live to a huge fanfare. So it felt incredibly odd to just be sitting on my own in my bedroom watching the player count go through the roof. Joe Walsh, the game's lead designer, tells us. I do think the game launched at the perfect time, though. People needed something joyful and funny in their lives this year. So being able to help bring a bit of happiness to everyone is probably the thing I'm most proud of. A major part of Fall Guys' appeal is how accessible it is. I'd always had confidence in the idea of a giant physics game show, ever since we put together the first pitch, Joe says. Everyone we showed it to has had this, "Oh my god, I'd play that," reaction to it, but I'd never imagined we'd end up selling over 11 million copies on PC. Let alone becoming the most downloaded PS Plus game of all time. Now we're in this amazing position where we get to build on this phenomenon and push Fall Guys into areas we'd only really dreamed about before. Speaking of bean-like characters, In As Loath As Among Us was the talk of September. In this survival sim, you and up to 9 other players must repair a ship, but some players take the role of the imposter, sabotaging the efforts of the crew and murdering them one by one. Although it debuted in 2018, streamers began broadcasting the game during lockdown and its popularity resurged. In October, Among Us drew the attention of U.S. Congresswomen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, who broadcast themselves playing the game to help encourage young people to vote in the U.S. elections. Despite being a crapshoot of a year, the world wised to the fact that gaming can offer a reprieve to a bad situation in many different ways. To a degree, I think gaming has helped people not just keep their sanity, but also to support each other, Matt explains. I think the lockdown and subsequent isolation would have been much more brutal without it. It provides the opportunity to hang out and distress with your friends in ways no other medium really allows for. Survival Kit, the essential games that saw us through lockdown. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Nintendo's latest life sim is just so damn cozy. You find yourself as the newest resident of a deserted island. And guided by the ever-capitalistic hand of Tom Nook, you'll gather all sorts of flora and fauna to help make money and turn your lovely slice of land into a personal paradise. Among Us, building on the concept popularized by tabletop games like Werewolf, Among Us is a game of deduction where you must out the imposter hiding in your group. Things are made difficult when the villains in your crew start killing off the good guys. Warning: playing this could ruin friendships. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. This mean bean elimination machine took over everyone's currently playing lists during the summer. It pits 60 players against one another across a series of elimination challenges, from madcap races to perilous platforming courses. Its deliberately janky physics make for brilliant slapstick comedy. Jackbox. Everyone loves a good party game, but it's difficult to play them when you're not allowed to have gatherings. Enter Jackbox, a series of virtual toy boxes that you can stream to your friends, who can take part using their phones. The series offers a bunch of great games that are sure to cater for all tastes. Minecraft. We've already sung Minecraft's praises on page 136, but its open-ended sandbox game design and multiplayer capabilities offer all kinds of possibilities, which suits it perfectly for lockdown gaming. The only limit to what you can do in this modern classic is your imagination.